धीमहि यो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नमः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति।
श्री राम तु ही श्री कृष्ण तु ही श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे। श्री
राम तु ही श्री कृष्ण तु ही श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे।
श्री राम तु ही श्री कृष्ण तु ही श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे।
श्री राम तु ही श्री कृष्ण तु ही श्री राम कृष्ण हरे हरे।
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम।
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम।
हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम हरि ओम।
श्री काली तु ही श्री दुर्गा तु ही श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे। श्री काली तु ही श्री दुर्गा तु ही श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे।
श्री काली तु ही श्री दुर्गा तु ही श्री शारदा माता हरे हरे।
जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां
श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां।
जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां
श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां श्री मां जय मां।
भोलानाथ तु ही नरेंद्र तु ही स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे।
भोलानाथ तु ही नरेंद्र तु ही स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे।
भोलानाथ तु ही नरेंद्र तु ही स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे।
भोलानाथ तु ही नरेंद्र तु ही स्वामी विवेकानंद हरे हरे।
शिव ओम
श्री माँ जय माँ।
भोलानाथ तुही नरेंद्र तुही स्वामी विवेकानंदा हरे हरे।
भोलानाथ तुही नरेंद्र तुही स्वामी विवेकानंदा हरे हरे।
வெள்ளை தாமரை பூவினிலே வெள்ளை கலையுடன் நிற்பவளே வீணையை கைகள் ஏந்தி கொண்டு காட்சியளித்திடும் தமிழ் தாயே வெள்ளை தாமரை பூவினிலே வெள்ளை கலையுடன் நிற்பவளே வீணையை கைகள் ஏந்தி கொண்டு காட்சியளித்திடும் தமிழ் தாயே புலவர் எல்லாம் புகழ் கலை மாதா கலைகள் எல்லாம் அள்ளி தருபவளே கல்வியும் செல்வமும் பலத்துடனே வீரமும் வெற்றியும் தருவாயம்மா புலவர் எல்லாம் புகழ் கலை மாதா கலைகள் எல்லாம் அள்ளி தருபவளே கல்வியும் செல்வமும் பலத்துடனே வீரமும் வெற்றியும் தருவாயம்மா வெள்ளை தாமரை பூவினிலே வெள்ளை கலையுடன் நிற்பவளே வீணையை கைகள் ஏந்தி கொண்டு காட்சியளித்திடும் தமிழ் தாயே மலைமகள் கலைமகள் திருமகளே உன்னை பூஜிக்கும் எங்களை காத்திடும்மா மலைமகள் கலைமகள் திருமகளே உன்னை பூஜிக்கும் எங்களை காத்திடம்மா உலக சங்கத்தின் தாயகமே எங்கள் மனதில் ஆடும் மணிவிளக்கே வெள்ளை தாமரை பூவினிலே வெள்ளை கலையுடன் நிற்பவளே வீணையை கைகள் ஏந்தி கொண்டு காட்சியளித்திடும் தமிழ் தாயே வெள்ளை தாமரை பூவினிலே வெள்ளை கலையுடன் நிற்பவளே வீணையை கைகள் ஏந்தி கொண்டு காட்சியளித்திடும் தமிழ் தாயே
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं राम बसे हैं राम बसे हैं
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं कोई बोलो,
राम का नाम सब कोई बोलो,
राम का नाम सब कोई बोलो।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं।
कृष्ण गोपाला सब कोई बोलो,
कृष्ण गोपाला सब कोई बोलो,
नंद लाला सब कोई बोलो,
नंद लाला सब कोई बोलो,
मुरली वाला सब कोई बोलो,
मुरली वाला सब कोई बोलो।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं।
श्री राम कृष्ण सब कोई बोलो,
श्री राम कृष्ण सब कोई बोलो,
शारदा माता सब कोई बोलो,
शारदा माता सब कोई बोलो,
विवेकानंदा सब कोई बोलो,
विवेकानंदा सब कोई बोलो।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं।
श्री राम कृष्ण सब कोई बोलो,
श्री राम कृष्ण सब कोई बोलो,
शारदा माता सब कोई बोलो,
शारदा माता सब कोई बोलो,
विवेकानंदा सब कोई बोलो,
विवेकानंदा सब कोई बोलो।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं।
सबके मन में राम बसे है, राम बसे है, राम बसे है।
सबके मन में राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं, राम बसे हैं। ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय श्रीरामकृष्णाय नमः। The nectar of your sin-effacing utterances brings life and hope to those scorched by misery. They are extolled by wise sages, and the mere listening to them would bestow auspiciousness on all. They confer every prosperity. Those who spread them broadcast are verily magnanimous. They distribute what is completely satisfying to the hearers. The prayer is taken from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Dear sisters, brothers, and loving children, Om Namo Narayanaya. Often we ask ourselves various questions about life. We feel sad and wonder why so many things seem to be going wrong. Even while praying, we wonder, is God not compassionate? Does he know that I am praying to him? Each person has his or her own personal questions which they do not discuss with anyone. Amazingly, we find the answers to all of these in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Today, we shall read from the chapter In the Company of Devotees. The date is 9th of April 1882 and it's a Sunday. A devotee asks Sri Ramakrishna, please tell us why God has created wicked people. Master, that is his will. It is his play. In his Maya, there exists avidya, that is ignorance, as well as vidya, knowledge. Now, according to the Vedanta philosophy, the word is Maya. It is an illusion since nothing here is real or everlasting. The Master explains that in this Maya, in this world, there is ignorance as well as knowledge. Those who take the world to be real are ignorant about the absolute reality called God. Those who love God and desire to know the truth attain this supreme knowledge of God. Sri Ramakrishna says, darkness is needed too. So the question is, why has God created wicked people? The Master says, darkness is needed too. It reveals all the more the glory of light. There is no doubt that anger, lust, and greed are evil. Why then has God created them? In order to create saints. A man becomes a saint by controlling the senses. Is there anything impossible for a man who has overcome his passions? He can even realize God through God's grace. So we may say that God has created the pairs of opposites as a challenge to humankind. Those that strive by right means are able to control the mind and the senses. They become the masters of their minds, whereas those who do not get caught in Maya, get caught in ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna continues, there is a need for everything. Once Sita said to Sri Ram, O Ram, it would be grand if every house in Ayodhya were a mansion. I find many houses old and dilapidated. But, my dear, said Ram, if all the houses were beautiful ones, what would the masons do? And everyone laughs. God has created all kinds of things. He has created good trees and poisonous plants and weeds as well. Among the animals, there are good, bad, and all kinds of creatures, tigers, lions, snakes, and so on. So Sri Ramakrishna says, it is difficult to understand God's play. So these pairs of opposites allow us to use our power of discrimination. Only human beings have this faculty. They have the mind that can think. So we can know good from bad and what is to our advantage and what is not. So we have to use our discrimination, and God's power is infinite. His creation too is too vast. But when we have faith in Him, He shows us the way forward. A neighbor asks, Sir, is it ever possible to realize God while leading the life of a householder? Sri Ramakrishna replies, Certainly, but one must live in holy company and pray constantly. One should weep for God. When the impurities of the mind are thus washed away, one realizes Him. Weep for His grace, and now and then go into solitude. Unless the plants on a footpath are protected at first by fences, they will be destroyed by cattle. So Sri Ramakrishna encourages us to cultivate love and devotion for God by being in holy company, meditating and doing japa. These strengthen our minds and deepen our faith in God. Thereafter, if we live in the world, we will not be entrapped by ignorance. So, just as when the plants are young, if they are not protected, they will be destroyed. So while our minds do not know how to live in the world, we should try and cultivate devotion for God, get that protection of God's power, of God's grace, and then go into the world. The neighbor asks again, then householders too will have the vision of God, won't they? The master replies, everyone will surely be liberated, but one should follow the instructions of the Guru. So the Guru is an enlightened soul who knows the path, who knows every inch of the way and guides us, teaches us what is right and wrong, teaches us how to control our minds and how to go forward. So the master says, if one follows a devious path, one will suffer in trying to retrace one's step. It takes a long time to achieve liberation. Sages like Janaka performed worldly duties. They performed them bearing God in their minds, just as a dancing girl dances, keeping jars or trays on her head. Haven't you seen how the women in northwest India walk, laughing and talking, while carrying water pitchers on their heads? Now, this is not a very easy task to do, but the master shows that although they have the water pitchers on their heads, they still laugh and talk and are walking, to say they are walking on their way home. So part of their mind is on the pitchers that they are carrying so that it doesn't fall, and part of their mind is on the path that they are walking and they are talking. So this is an excellent example to demonstrate how we can multitask, do our work and have part of the mind on God. Thus, we will succeed in both our duties and in remembering God. Our minds will not become restless. We will be calm and patient, think of God and perform our duties. At another time, the master said, the world is like a thorny bush. You have hardly freed yourself from one set of thorns before you get caught in another lot of thorns. Besides, one cannot think of God unless one lives in solitude. Suppose you are separating rice from bits of husk. You must do it all by yourself. Every now and then, you have to take the rice in your hand to see how clean it is. But how can you do your work well if you are disturbed again and again? So the master teaches us that if we are doing any important work, we have to concentrate on it. And if we are disturbed all the time, we will not be successful in it, or we will take a very long time to do it. So the master implies that in the world, we do not get a chance to practice spiritual disciplines properly because we are always busy. We must either live in solitude for a few days or practice spiritual disciplines regularly every morning and evening. Then our minds will become strong. We must be the masters of our minds and senses. Then we will be protected. We have learned some valuable lessons about knowledge and ignorance and how to live in the world while thinking about God. This will be to our advantage as we will not get entangled in Maya, in ignorance. As the Master says, every morning and evening, spend some time in prayer. Sometimes we find that As soon as we get up, either we put the television on or we watch our cell phone or do all sorts of other things. But it is so important and necessary to first pray to God. As soon as we have our wash or bath, repeat God's name, ask God for His blessings, and then go into the world. Today is Ekadashi, a very holy day. Ekadashi is the 11th day after the full moon and the 11th day after the new moon in every month. Thus, Ekadashi occurs twice a month. Hindus observe Ekadashi through fasting, repeating God's name, and other spiritual disciplines. The moon has an effect on water. Since our body contains much water, the phases of the moon have an effect on our minds. Fasting on this sacred day prevents any negative effect on us. Our scriptures say that when we abstain from eating all types of pulses and grains, such as rice, wheat, and lentils, on this day, we benefit. Through fasting, we are able to control our minds and senses. People spend more time repeating the name of God, reading the scriptures, and trying to concentrate on God in whichever way it is possible. This helps to purify the heart and mind. It also saves us from worldly thoughts and fills us with divine energy. People often recite from the scriptures such as the Ramayana, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the Bhagavad Gita. The Gita was given to us by Lord Krishna on the Ekadashi day in December. The Ramakrishna Sarada Ashramas throughout the world chant the Ram Nam Sankirtanam on this holy day. The Sankirtanam has 108 verses in praise of Sri Ram. The chanting of God's divine name is very powerful and helps us to progress holistically. Please turn to the prayer book to follow the Ram Nam Sankirtanam. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Raghupate Hridaye Asmadiye Satyam Vadami Cha Bhavan Akhilantaratma Bhaktim Shri Sita Lakshmana Bharata Shatrugna Hanuman Sameta Shri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Namah Shuddha Brahma Parat Pararam Kalatmaka Parameshwara Sukhani Kritaya
त्वरया कालात्मक परमेश्वरया हर हर मंगल दशरथया जय जय मंगल सीताया हर हर मंगल दशरथया जय जय मंगल सीताया मंगल कर जय मंगलया संकट शुभ विमहोदयया मंगल कर जय मंगलया संकट शुभ विमहोदयया आनन्दामृत वर्षकया आश्रित वत्सल जय जय राम आनन्दामृत वर्षकया आश्रित वत्सल जय जय राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम रघुपति राघव राजा राम पतित पावन सीताराम तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारी परिपूर्णलोचनम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकम् श्री सियावर रामचन्द्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय श्री अम्बे अम्बे मात की जय।
Om Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers. Let us try to concentrate our minds on the luminous form of God seated in our hearts. Lord Krishna says in chapter 5, verses 10 and 23 of the Bhagavad Gita, "He who acts, abandoning attachment, dedicating his deeds to God, that is to Brahman, is untainted by sin as a lotus leaf by water. He who is able to withstand the impulse of lust and anger, even here, before he leaves the body, he is a yogi, he is a happy man." Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम तत्सत्।
जय श्री गुरु महाराज की
जय।
महामाई की
जय।
स्वामी जी महाराज की
जय।
गंगा मात की
जय।
महावीर स्वामी जी की
जय।
सर्व ऋषि मुनीन की
जय। पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव की जय। ओम नमो नारायणाय।
Namo Narayanaya. Our scriptures are invaluable sources of wisdom and guidance. They are interwoven with mythology, philosophy, and spirituality. The Ramayana is a skillful manual on how to live a moral and ethical life. It reminds us of the ideals that we can aspire to. Sri Ram's flawless character is indeed worthy of emulation and defines standards that we should try and imbibe. The Ramayana also reminds us that if we cultivate devotion to God, we can attain the goal of human life, which is God realization. The Ramayana is an extraordinary scripture which is popular in many parts of the world. There are many different perspectives and authors. The most popular are the Ramcharitmanas by Goswami Tulsidas and the Valmiki Ramayana. So let us begin with the first of the 4-part series on the Ramayana. Now once, on the banks of the Sarayu river, stood the beautiful city of Ayodhya. The righteous king Dasharatha ruled the prosperous kingdom of Kosala. He was a descendant of the Ikshvaku dynasty that traced its lineage to Lord Surya, or the sun god. He was brave and truthful, and Dasharatha ruled the kingdom justly and was loved like a father by its citizens. In the city, there were magnificent palaces decorated with precious stones. Spires of splendid temples rose above the city as if to touch the sky. For protection, the city was surrounded by a great moat. The people of Ayodhya were peace-loving and happy. Everyone had faith in God and read the scriptures daily, and all the citizens lived in harmony with each other. The Brahmins or priests devoted their lives to studying the sacred texts. The rulers and the warriors governed and protected the city, and the farmers and merchants fed and clothed the citizens. However, King Dasharatha was unhappy. Although he was very old, he had no son to inherit his throne. The king spent some time in thought and prayer. Then he went to his spiritual teacher, Vashishta. Guru Vashishta, he said, I am growing old. I have and I long for a son who will take my place on the throne. Vashishta replied, Dasharatha, we shall perform a special yajna or fire sacrifice to acquire the blessings of God so that you will have an heir. Excited by this wonderful news, the jubilant king shared the good news with his 3 wives, Sumitra, Kaikeyi, and Kaushalya, who were equally overjoyed. At this time, Ravana, the ruler of the Rakshasas or demons, was causing untold misery and difficulty on earth. Ravana was a mighty warrior with 10 heads and 20 arms. He also had remarkable powers, but he was abusing his power and preventing the gods and sages or holy men from performing their sacred rituals. The compassionate Lord has promised that whenever unrighteousness prevails, he will take birth on earth as a human to guide and protect humanity. Learning of Ravana's actions, Lord Vishnu, the protector of the universe, decided it was time to stop Ravana. Ravana had performed many penances and was granted a boon or promise. Lord Vishnu thought, Ravana, in his arrogance, protected himself only from those beings whom he thought he could hurt. He failed to protect himself from the humans and the Vanaras. And accordingly, the gracious Lord Vishnu decided to be born as a human and vanquish Ravana. The gods and sages rejoiced at hearing that the Lord would take birth on earth soon. King Dasharatha, with the guidance of Guru Vashishta, duly performed the fire sacrifice. Agni, the god of fire, was pleased with Dasharatha's devotion and sincerity, and he rose from the fire sacrifice and presented the king with a bowl of payasam, which he advised was to be distributed amongst the 3 queens. The king gave each of his wives part of the payasam, and in due course there was great rejoicing in the city when 4 beautiful sons were born to their king. Their names were Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. Even as infants, everyone noticed the inseparable bond between the brothers. The children grew amid much love and joy, and the palace was filled with laughter. In accordance with tradition, the boys were schooled by Guru Vashishta in both secular and spiritual matters at his Gurukula during their formative years. The young princes lived with Guru Vashishta in his hermitage. This practice allowed students to imbibe the noble characters of their teachers by observing the teacher's life, actions, and words. Despite being princes, they performed daily household chores and served their teacher. They were schooled in the arts, sciences, and the use of weapons and the caring for and living in harmony with the environment. As the 4 young boys grew, they made their parents, the members of the royal household staff, the citizens of Ayodhya, and the gods very proud. Rama was a favorite of all. He was kind, truthful, noble, and adept in whatever he learnt. Even at a tender age, his dharma or righteousness was clearly evident. The days passed on so happily and enjoyably that it is said that no one knew whether it was day or night, or which day of the week or month it was. All 4 of Dashratha's sons grew to be intelligent men, and Dashratha was finally happy. By and by, the 4 divine brothers reached their teens. Around this time, sage Vishwamitra visited the palace seeking the assistance of Dashratha. His hermitage was being persistently tormented by the demons who would defile his fire sacrifice. Vishwamitra and the other sages resided in the forest, performing austerities for the general welfare of the world. The sage said, "Dear king, I have come to ask you a favor." "How can I help? No wish is too great to ask," the king responded. "It pleases me to hear these words from you," said Vishwamitra. "I have been trying to perform a sacred rite, which is continuously being interrupted by the demons Taraka and Subahu. My vows prevent me personally from fighting these demons. I pray, Dasharatha, that you allow me to take Rama with me to protect my sacred rite." King Dashratha was surprised at this request. He was unaware of Rama's ability and was reluctant to let his precious child engage in battle with the demons. He humbly said, "Respected sage, Rama is only a child. He is but 16 years of age. I have a better idea. I shall send you my armies to battle these demons. Why, I will even accompany you, but please do not take Rama." Sage Vishwamitra understood the king's pain, but the sage also knew that Rama was an avatara or incarnation of Lord Vishnu on earth, and after all, that was precisely the reason why the Lord had taken a human form. Sage Vashishta also assured the king that no harm would come to Rama, and Dashratha thus agreed to let Rama and Lakshmana accompany sage Vishwamitra to his hermitage. Now the journey to the hermitage was a long one. Along the way, Guru Vishwamitra taught Rama and Lakshmana many skills. The young princes, ever eager to learn, were soon adept in the use of weapons and also the techniques to overcome hunger and fatigue. It is said that God always protects his devotees or those who take refuge in him. The brave Rama and Lakshmana were able to protect the worship of the sages and defeat the destructive demons Taraka and Subahu. Vishwamitra invited Ram and Lakshmana to accompany him to Mithila, which was King Janaka's kingdom. King Janaka was holding a sacrifice that entailed the special bow of Lord Shiva. On the outskirts of Mithila, Vishwamitra and the princes stopped at the hermitage of sage Gautama. Sri Ram provided liberation to Ahalya, the chaste wife of sage Gautama, who had been turned into a stone. When Sri Rama touched the stone, the touch of his holy feet freed Ahalya from her misfortune. On entering Mithila, they observed preparations for the marriage of King Janaka's daughter named Sita. Sage Vishwamitra took the two brothers, Ram and Lakshman, and went to attend the ceremony. At the ceremony, King Janaka said, "A few years ago, a portion of my land was being ploughed, and I found a divine child in the furrow. I called her Sita and adopted her as my own daughter. She has grown into a beautiful young woman. Many princes have desired her hand in marriage, but I wanted the man who marries my Sita to be a man of great strength and righteousness. To prove his strength, he would have to lift and string the ancient bow of Lord Shiva. No man has shown the strength to even lift this bow." Rama entered the long room, filled with thousands of people. The bow was so heavy, it took no less than 5,000 exceptionally strong men to bring the bow and its casing into the room. Several princes who had tried to lift the bow looked on as Rama approached the weapon. Rama looked at Shiva's bow, and he effortlessly hoisted the bow from its casing and started to string it. As he did so, the bow snapped in two and fell to the palace floor. All the courtiers and kings rose to their feet, and King Janaka declared, "Sita has found her spouse. Send a messenger to Ayodhya, informing them of the wedding of Rama to my daughter Sita." Soon the wedding ceremony was held in the palace, resulting in Rama's marriage to Sita. The other three brothers were also married at the same venue to the cousins of Sita. Following the wedding, everyone returned to Ayodhya. All in the city cheered their arrival. Rama and Sita continued to serve their parents and delight the sages. Sita and Rama were the perfect husband and wife, and they were exceedingly devoted to each other. Rama's parents watched him mature into a young prince. Rama was a perfect young man. He had all the noble qualities. He was patient with others' wrongs, but he would do no wrong himself. He enjoyed the company of the elders and the wise men, and he was intelligent and courageous, righteous and kind. He was a perfect warrior. He knew when to resort to arms and when not to. He was healthy, strong, handsome, and highly learned in the scriptures. Rama was really the ideal man. So, what lessons did we learn today? Let us look at just 3. Today, we have seen the importance of valuing and respecting one's parents, teachers, and elders. The 4 princes had equal love and regard for Dashratha, the 3 queens, Guru Vishwamitra, and Guru Vashishta. We also saw the love between siblings. We saw the bond shared by all 4 brothers and the loyalty and camaraderie that it fostered. In our next lesson, this will be demonstrated further. The 3rd lesson we can take out from today's class is the importance of assisting with chores and duties, as it helps build discipline and form good character. In the lesson, we saw Sri Ram and his brothers learning a variety of duties, and we saw how it assisted to form strong, noble characters centered in truth and righteousness. So, until next week, dear children, Om Namo Narayanaya.